test was transferred.
Hi guys,
Colorado, be rolling.
it's Friday. I have a horrible migraine. I think it's from the MRI and the stress because I stressed out. So I had to take my migraine medication yesterday, and now I feel like super tired. See, my eyes are all red because the migraine medication I have to take that with promethazine and a Valium, so that the three of them, I take Floricet. 3 of them combined, I don't get nauseous, and the Valium helps me to relax. And then, of course, the Floricet is for my migraine. So, but my migraines are brought on by that, by stress. And I've had the headaches and the migraines since I was young, but that's from the brain damage from being choked pretty much to death by the monster, my mother's second husband. And so there's nothing that can be done about that. Once your brain is dead in a spot, it's dead in a spot. I'm lucky it's just a spot, and then I was able to go on from there. But because I was pretty close to dying, I think I had an out-of-body experience, if anybody believes that, because I remember he was messing with my feet while we were all watching TV, and it was late. We all had our pajamas on. Everybody was sitting around watching something on TV, and he was drunk as a skunk, as always. And it was a Sunday night because my mother left us the next day to go to work instead of taking us out of the home. Anyways, he kept messing with my feet. And one of his tortures was tickling you until you couldn't laugh anymore. So that any type of tickling didn't cause a laughing sensation. It was more of a disturbed. He took everything away from us, our emotions. Any emotion that he could strip you of was systematically stripped from you. So being tickled or having him frick with you was always a displeasure, and it always caused mental anguish. And so he was messing with my feet, twisting them, twisting my legs. I mean, he would twist my legs so hard that I felt like they were going to break. And I kept asking him to stop and stop. And then my mother got angry and said, George, quit. She's asked you several times to stop. She's even pleaded with you to stop. Please stop messing with her feet. And he freaking flipped out. He grabbed my leg and twisted it all the way up to my neck. So my foot is right here. And then my leg was like this. So it was around my neck. And then he took his hands and placed his hands over my foot. So that was like this. But his hands were there pressing against it too. And I couldn't breathe. And I just remember trying to fight for breath, and my mother next to me on the couch saying, stop, stop, you're killing her, stop. And then the next memory is of me seeing my brother and my sister huddled on the staircase together, hugging each other hysterically, screaming, crying. And then I don't remember my mother in the room at all. Then I saw the luggage being thrown down the stairs with his shit in it and her telling him to get the fuck out. Of course he didn't. He never got the fuck out. We always had to get the fuck out. And then that's it. And then she went to work the next day. And like I said, that wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back by any means. She didn't leave him until she had a third man on the hook. And it's not like she picked very wisely. The third guy I told you peeked at my sister and I while we were bathing, and my girlfriends that would spend the night. So I had nobody come over to spend the night because of that. Good Lord, it was awful. I actually talked to her yesterday, my mother, and she actually brought it up and apologized for not believing me when I told her when I was in my 20s what had happened. And she claimed I never told her about George. And I said, Mother, I told you about everything. You chose to listen and call me a liar and tell me that I was jealous of you because you had a boyfriend and I never liked to see you happy or with a man or some bullshit like that, as if I was in competition with for your affection, which I could care less about because you never were affectionate anyway. You never cuddled us, you never hugged us. We were not allowed to come and scooch into your bed when we were scared of night terrors. I slept on the floor or on the foot of the bed where they couldn't see or feel me. Otherwise, I was kicked out immediately. I remember being kicked off the bed and told to go back into my room. So, yeah, she never, and again, she apologized and said, I'm so sorry I made so many mistakes. I'm sorry that you had to deal with all of them. I'm sorry that this happened to you. But she said that so many times to the point where I'm just like, it's done, it's over. That's on you. But don't lay your heavy guilt trip on me because I'm not taking it off your back. That's for you to carry. And she's saving all this money up in a trust fund so that when she dies, she can pay us all what she thinks that we are all owed because of her being such a withdrawn and unavailable mother. And I'm like, that's just to ease your guilt. And she said, yes, it is. I said, but you've been paying us off since we were in school, in, elementary school, Mom. Don't you think you've already paid enough? And she said, for me, no. As in, this is like, I leave you all this because I truly loved you all and I just didn't know how to show it. And we all know that. We all know that. But my grandparents showed love for us grandkids. Well, I don't know if she showed love for them or not. I know she yelled at my uncle and me for teasing Denise, my sister, and then we would run out of the house because by then he was 16, and when he was 16, I was 5, and then we would drive off in his green Pinto hatchback thing. Yeah, Vega. And his friends would all trip out on me and make me do crazy things, run, do cartwheels, stand on your head because they were all dropping acid and freaking out and spacing out on the little tiny ones sliding down the slide. And then we would all go to 7-Eleven. I would get a giant Slurpee, not a baby one, a giant one. Because in those years, in the 70s at 7-Eleven, when they had the Slurpees, they had those cups that if you pulled the bottom thing off, there were prizes in there. Most of the time, they were those army men with the little umbrellas that you drop from some high spot. Sometimes you'd get a ring, that kind of crap. But hey, I like the Slurpee. I mixed them. Cherry and Coca-Cola. Mix that one for me, won't you? Back then, the attendants made the Slurpees for you, too. You didn't have to make them by yourself. Back then, a lot of people did a lot of things for you. Now it's all like, throw me some quarters and, do it yourself, whatever. Or, no, wheeze the juices. No, wheeze the juices. Pauly Shore, Brendan Fraser. Yeah. What was that thing called? Where he was a caveman? Was it called The Caveman? I don't remember. And Sean Austin was in it. It was at his house that they found the frozen caveman guy, came back to life. And then they found his girlfriend after the earthquakes. In fact, the dude from the Goonies was in that too. The Vietnamese man? I think he's Vietnamese. I'm not sure, but I think he's Vietnamese. But, yeah. So, it's not like Denise didn't have her own thing. Her and my grandmother, for the most part, when my aunts and my uncles were in school, my Uncle Dal was in Vietnam, her and Denise would sit there together having their little cucumber and bell peppers and veggies to themselves. And I wouldn't be getting any because I didn't really like bell peppers anyway, back then. So I really didn't care. But it did kind of hurt my feelings a tiny bit. Denise and I got plenty of attention. I'm kind of jealous because she's getting all the attention now. And now my grandfather, who heaped a whole bunch on me, is probably heaping a whole bunch on her. And she's probably taking care of those babies that I didn't get to carry. And thanks, Denise. You wanted more children, and now you can raise the babies that didn't make it with me on earth. You can hold them in your arms and love them for me and tell them, wait till your mom comes and meets you all because she's going to be so ecstatically happy. And I'm going to be surrounded like little ones. I'm sorry to you little ones. I'm sorry that drugs and alcohol became between me and you. I'm sorry. And I didn't know that you were there. And my doctor told me never to feel bad about it because 9 out of 10 pregnancies end before you even know you're pregnant. And I didn't know I was pregnant. So maybe that's true. But that's an awful lot of babies. So that's why you should look at your healthy or unhealthy child as a miracle that they even made it. If it's true that 9 out of 10 pregnancies end in a miscarriage, and before you even know, then there's an awful lot of babies in heaven. An awful lot. They probably have a huge daycare center for all damn babies. But I believe that those babies get to choose their parents. And I always thank my daughter all the time on her birthday for choosing me to be her mama. And she thanks her little guy on his birthday for choosing her to be his mama. So my daughter's such an angel to me. I love her so much. She has no idea how much I truly, truly love her. I loved carrying her. I was so happy she made it those first 3 months. I would have done anything, and I did. I'm so glad. It's like my sister with her son, Josh. She was bedridden. She got toxemia and everything. So, yeah, both of her and I had problems carrying our children. But, things were different back then. I think my mom smoked. People smoke different drugs now, not just tobacco. And nicotine is the worst one on your body. Nicotine is harder to quit than heroin. I worked at a drug treatment center, and that was one of their sales on how to get you off of heroin. Nicotine is harder. So if you gave up smoking, you can do this. No problemo. But, I don't know. We're almost 15 minutes. So anyways, Friday's here. I'm supposed to make a lasagna. I don't know if I will or not, but I have my meat sauce and everything already done. All I have to do is slap it together. Easy peasy for me easy. And yeah, that's it. So I had a migraine. I have a headache. And I sound like poo-poo caca. So I will talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bless you all. Be safe out there. Help someone. Pay it forward. Pray it forward always. I love you. Thank you. Peace out to you all. Come back and see me on Monday.